A few years too late I got my hands on one of the most iconic LEGO sets of all time, the Ultimate Collector Series Millennium Falcon. Released in 2017 and with over 7,500 pieces, is still to this day one of the biggest LEGO sets ever made, despite there having been bigger sets released after it, like the Colosseum, the Titanic or the World Map with over 11,000 pieces. The retail price of this model is 800 euros or dollars, but what if I told you there was a place you could get these for as little as 579 euros? That place is StockX, today's sponsors who helped providing the set for this review. But before talking about them a little more, let's take a look at this set's box, where the whole experience starts. It was at the time the biggest LEGO set box ever made. People buying it on release day in physical shops even had a special trolley cardboard box with wheels to carry it around since it was so heavy, and its size has only been overtaken by the Titanic box, which is slightly bigger. I actually liked this detail over here where special seals tell you where you should cut the box open. A piece of advice if you're thinking of getting this set eventually: when you open this, do it with this side up. I didn't, and when I opened the box flaps, the massive instruction booklet fell over. It's really hard to have a sense of scale with these if you've never seen one in person, but this book alone might weigh about 4 to 5 kilos, which is crazy. It has a lot of information about the Millennium Falcon ship, the LEGO models of the ship done over the years, interviews with the design director from Star Wars, the model designer and the graphic designer. My book came a little messed up with a miscut page in here, which was strange but cool, and with the book being so massive and taking so much desk space, I decided to use the PDF instructions instead when assembling the model. You then remove the lid where the book is to reveal 4 inner boxes, each of them having a part of a blueprint style of decoration of the model and some quotes from the movies. You would expect that there would be some sort of system or organization with the boxes, but I'm sad to say that wasn't the case. The bags each box contained were completely random, which required me to open all of the boxes, dump all of the numbered bags on the floor so I could find the proper numbered bags to start the build. Some LEGO sets in recent years, while having the same approach with inner boxes, are far more organized in that regard, with, for example, the Titanic set box dividing the build into 3 different sections, with each box only having the pieces for the specific section we're supposed to build. But besides that minor issue, from there on the build was very much straightforward. To support the whole thing, a large Technic superstructure was the first thing that had to be done, then the 6 feet, and from there building sections and panels one at a time that would later on be added to the superstructure. The fact that you're building these sections separately and not directly onto the model allowed me to have the main structure to the side to free once again desk space for the build. When completed, the Millennium Falcon looks absolutely incredible. You can never have a sense of scale of this unless you've seen it in person. It is super heavy, not very easy to carry around, and when doing so you need to do it in the recommended way, as seen in the instruction booklet, or you might run the risk of completely destroying the model. We totally get the hunk of junk look of the model with the different grays used in combination with dark tan, dark red and olive green detailing in some points. The whole thing is incredibly textured with the use of different layers of elements with a mix of different types of plates and tiles. On top of that, there's a massive amount of the so-called LEGO Gribblies, a combination of different kinds of LEGO elements taken out of context to give us a sense of machinery, tubing, electric detailing and so on. Some of my favorites are these details that can be seen through open holes on the hull of the ship. At points it feels a bit too much, but the movie reference is detailed just as much, so there's that. A few notable areas include the escape pods on both sides of the ship, the forward mandibles, the cockpit area with 2 printed elements, the drive unit in the back with the transparent blue hose elements, which kinda made me want to have an official LEGO way of lighting them up, and the quad laser cannons, both on the top and bottom of the ship. These can be moved up and down, and so does the boarding ramp at the side. The sensor dish, another place where a printed dish element was used, can be spun around. An interesting thing about this set is that it includes a few extras, so you can either display the Empire Strikes Back Falcon with a rounded dish, or the Force Awakens Falcon with the updated dish and 2 small details at the front. Since you can swap details around, around, the set also includes 2 different crews. The Force Awakens crew featuring Rey, Finn, Han Solo and BB-8. And 5 years after release, none of these minifigures are exclusive to the set anymore. To match this timeline, we also have 2 brick-built Porgs. And then there's the Empire Strikes Back crew with C-3PO and Chewbacca. Again, fairly common minifigures, but to this day, these 2 are still exclusive to this set. And Solo and Princess Leia with alternate prints on the heads with the face respirators they wore when exploring the insides of the giant space slug. These are not just for show and can be placed on the cockpit, for instance, which isn't easy to remove from its place. The top quad laser cannon section can be removed to reveal a sitting area for someone to operate the weapons. On top of that, a few panels can be removed from the ship to reveal 2 areas of interior detailing. In one of the areas there's the holo chessboard, another printed element, and a sitting area, this time around decorated with stickers. There's also a seat here in front of a computer, again with stickers, and a hallway leading to another area of the Falcon. This doesn't physically lead anywhere, though a brilliant sticker used to give a sense of the hallway leading elsewhere is really clever. Even though I'm mentioning lots of stickers, for a set this big it only has 15, which isn't all that bad in my opinion. The engineering interior area has the accesses for the escape pods, some computers over here, more of the hallway builds and some stairs leading to the gunnery stations. I really like the interior details, but at the same time I can't help but wonder how cool would this be if it had full interiors, right? As the rest of the ship only has structure inside. The last final feature of the model is the ground buzzer blaster cannon that is dropped down once we open this hatch here, and a brick-built Mynock creature, which I personally could have lived without. Now, before my closing thoughts on this set, let's go back to how you can possibly get this set under retail price. StockX is a new online marketplace where you can buy lots of different kinds of LEGO sets, from retired hard-to-find models to new sets under retail price. All LEGO sets sold on StockX are verified for authenticity and condition, so you always buy sealed product. Buying LEGO sets in there is very straightforward. You just type in the reference you're looking for with the option of buying now for the lowest price the platform has to offer, or placing a bid on the set for the amount you would be willing to pay. If there's someone willing to sell you the set for the price you're asking for, it's yours, which is really cool. The Millennium Falcon has been out in the market for 5 years now, so sooner or later it will go out of production. You either try and get one now or regret buying it later when the price goes up. In either situation, StockX is a great place to do it, so consider browsing the website using the link below to try and find the holy grail LEGO set you've been hunting for ages. Thank you StockX for sponsoring this video. Speaking of LEGO holy grails, the Millennium Falcon is for sure one of mine, and I'm incredibly happy to finally having it. Now, be aware that the model is indeed massive and it won't fit regular shelving units, so if you're considering getting it, be prepared to have a dedicated space to display it. It's really big. Despite really wanting the set, I was expecting the building experience to be bad, considering the heavy Technic superstructure inside, but I gotta say it wasn't all that bad honestly. There was a good mix of Technic and system, which made it a bit more enjoyable, and again, one of those cases where the build is so big that I'm driven to build it just to see the end result. 15 stickers for a set this size isn't bad at all, with the last one being the standard UCS style plaque with info about the Millennium Falcon, which goes nicely with the model when you display it. There's still a fair amount of printed elements, so you won't feel this model to be of lesser quality when compared to others. I do, however, dislike this style of building LEGO sets a bit, where stuff just gets added to a Technic superstructure. Admittedly, you won't be moving this model around a lot, but most of the top panels this set has are just resting in place and not completely locked, which makes the model a bit fiddly. This set will eventually go out of production, and sooner or later LEGO will end up doing yet another UCS Millennium Falcon. I truly believe that, and since LEGO has done 2 already, there's nothing stopping them. But if they do, I hope they give it to a different designer, so that we can have a different approach to the model. It is scary how both of them look similar internally, and I'm not saying the designer did bad with this model, I just want to see a different approach. But until that time comes, to this date, the UCS Millennium Falcon is one of the most impressive LEGO sets ever made. One that I totally recommend recommend you getting if you have the means and the space to display it. I know how much I regretted having seen the first UCS Millennium Falcon on a store and not getting it, so I don't wish you the same. Once again, thanks to StockX for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.